Ever since you were a little girl, you've spent countless hours looking through your parents' wedding album. And you've imagined yourself in that perfect wedding dress. And now that you have that beautiful ring on your finger, you've been doing your research, going through countless images. Maybe you've even decided which men's story you're going to use for the guys. But here comes the tricky part, reaching out to all of your vendors. What do you ask them? What should you expect? Hi, my name is Wellen Jackson, and I'm a wedding photographer based out of Saratoga Springs, New York. And I hear this question a lot from all of my couples. Well, we just don't know what to ask you. Well, I really wanted to eliminate that question for my couples. So I reached out to a bunch of my vendor friends, and I met with them, and we discussed what are good questions for couples to ask when coming in, and just what they should expect when meeting with them. And together we created a wonderful video series for you to watch as a couple so that when you go in planning your wedding and you meet with all of these vendors, you're going to know what to ask and you're going to know what to expect. Therefore, you're going to be able to plan your wedding stress-free and confident, which is of course what all of us want. So I really hope that you enjoy this series, especially today's. Hi everyone, thank you for watching. We are super excited about today's mini video. We have Karen and Paul. They're with Saratoga Sound DJ and Acoustics. And we are super excited to be kind of interviewing with them today. And we're going to kind of run this as though I am a bride, walking in and just having a little consultation with them. I've actually never done this before. I've never hired a DJ before, so this is really going to be kind of like true to life. All right, so here we go. Yes. All right, so hi, I'm getting married next year, and I would like to hire a DJ.
Yes. Well, the very first thing you should ask is our date available? Because after that, if it's not, then you don't have to waste any more time.
Absolutely.
So we're going to check the date for you to see if we have a contract on the date.
Once that we've decided, okay, yep, we got the date. I think I really like what you guys do. I've heard a lot of good things about you. So what's next? Do I need to come in and with any information already, or are you guys going to pretty much tell me everything that I need to know?
Well, we're going to explain to you what we offer, because every DJ company has their own packages. Okay. And promotions and all that. So with our company, we have live music options. With other companies, they may have photo booths or monograms, or so whatever's important to you for your wedding day is something to consider when you're hiring a DJ.
Okay, so what do you guys specifically offer?
So we offer the full day of DJ service, ceremony, cocktail hour, and your reception.
Now, you guys do offer live music, right? Which that's something that a lot of DJs don't do. Like, I've heard you guys live. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, we offer options for live ceremonies and live cocktail hours. So when it comes to the ceremonies, we will actually learn music for you. If you have certain things that you would like to walk down the aisle to, or for your bridal party, we will learn, as long as it will transfer to acoustic guitar and vocals, we'll do a great arrangement for you, and we'll make sure that it's, just what you're looking for. And because we're playing live, we can customize it. So if the processional goes a little long, we can keep playing.
Right,
Sometimes if you're just DJing, you can run out.
Gotcha.
So so we have the ability to just, on the fly, kind of handle anything that might come up.
So, along the lines there of customizing, so different genres, like is there something that, like a style of music that's like really like the rage right now for ceremonies or receptions, or is it really, like are people really wanting like country, or like what do you find most people are wanting? Most brides and grooms?
I think it's different for every family. That's where that word custom comes into play, because we try to make sure every wedding is unique to that couple and to their families, to their friends. They know what music they like. They know what their friends like. They know what they danced with their friends in college or high school. They know special things. You know, if there's a certain ethnic group, you know, that style of music, you know, we want to know about all of those things, because then we can prepare ahead of time to make sure that we have everything that they are looking for.
Okay, so do I make up the list, or do you guys make up the list, or do we work together to make up a list? Like, how does that work? Like a playlist for the reception?
Well, it depends on the couples. Some couples are very busy. They might just give us a handful of their favorite songs, and then we can see by what they are, what they love, and we can interject the rest of the night and really create a great playlist for them. Other people will really like to have more hands-on with their playlist, so we really just work with the couples, you know, accordingly. Yeah.
Okay, great. So something that's really important to know before you book your DJ is making sure that they're reputable and they have really good reviews, and just being able to read what others have experienced with them. So for you guys, can you tell us a little bit, like how long you've been doing this for, where somebody could find a review about you, stuff like that?
Yeah, so we are online. If you just Google SaratogaSoundDJ.com, or if you go online to Wedding Wire or The Knot, you're going to find Saratoga Sound DJ and Acoustic, and there's over 200 5-star reviews there, and we're really blessed to have so many couples review us after their weddings. Having people that are experienced to, like I said before, create the atmosphere for your entire wedding is really important. If you can't meet with your vendors, make sure that you do at least give a call. Emailing is fine for the initial questions. However, pick up the phone when you narrow it down and see which DJ or which vendor kind of just connects with you. Who do you feel comfortable with? Who do you trust after the conversation? It's really important.
Definitely, personality. I've as a wedding photographer, we've seen a lot of DJs in our time, and some of them there's personality issues there, and I think that a lot of that can be eliminated with making sure that you're really having a lot of communication back and forth with your DJs and vendors in general. So definitely, very good. And did you say how long you've been doing this?
All our adult lives,
Long
we've
time.
been musicians.
Awesome, very good.
Thousands and thousands of weddings. Yes.
Wow. Okay, guys. So they know their stuff.
Yes.
Which is one of the reasons I chose you guys to do this. I've worked with you guys, and I totally love the way that you read the room. When there's a little lull, and you guys just know how to pick it back up and get everybody back on the floor. That's really, really important, that a DJ is able to see what's going on and, just go with the flow and make it great.
Yes.
I would say a DJ can make or break a wedding reception.
And it really comes down to experience and knowing how to read the room. We prepare as much as we can. We have a lot of communication with our brides, which is another thing that's really important. We've actually gotten calls the week before a wedding. Hey, my DJ is not going to make it. Have you talked to him lately? Well, no, it's been a year. So
not good.
So once people book, they have my cell phone number, or they can ask questions. We try to get right back to people as quickly as we can, because there's always going to be those continual questions throughout the year and a half, sometimes 2 years out, where people book. And we want to be really accessible to answer any questions that you might have. It's really important, communication. So, yeah.
Good. So one of the questions that I'm liking to ask each vendor, because it's different for everybody, is how far out should a bride and groom contact you guys before their wedding? I know sometimes it's hard because they have a 6-month engagement or a 2-year engagement, but what is a really good time to reach out, as far as months before?
I would say target for a year and a half. However, dates do not book in order. So we have weddings that are booked 2 years out right now, and then we have some dates in April coming up. So that's 6 months away.
Okay.
So you just don't know. There may be a cancellation that we may have that you just might score a night, a Saturday night somewhere, but as soon as
possible.
As soon as you can, as soon as you make a decision on your vendors, I wouldn't wait to book them. Yeah.
Especially when it comes to certain seasons. The fall season in the Northeast books very fast and a lot. We're probably the busiest in September and October. Those dates go first and fast.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you wouldn't mind next letting me know, as a bride, like kind of what a wedding day would look like.
Well, we would probably be getting there at least 3 hours before the pre-ceremony music would start for your ceremony.
Okay.
Typically, we're playing live for the ceremony and the cocktail hours, so that means we bring a lot of stuff. So we have a live setup for your ceremony. We have another live setup for the cocktail hour. Sometimes dinner is in a barn, so we have a system for that. So sometimes there'll be a separate setup for the cocktail hour, the ceremony, and then maybe dinner in a tent and dancing in a barn. So that for us would be 4 sound systems.
Wow.
So we bring a lot of stuff, but that is because once we're set up, we're done for the day. We're not moving anything else for the rest of the day, because you don't want to have somebody moving gear in the middle of your day from one place to the next. So we would move with your guests from kind of station to station and just smoothly move through. And the other great thing about having so much gear is if there's ever a problem with anything, we have everything in triplicate. So any mechanical issues, we're always covered. We love backups.
I guess that would be a really good question for a bride and groom to ask their DJ too, is what if there's a malfunction, because that happens a lot with technology. So if there's a malfunction, do you have backup?
We do. We have triplicate, usually.
Yeah. Perfect. Very good. And that comes with experience, too. I guess you guys know.
Yeah, there should be nothing that should shake, the day. We should be able to handle. We've seen a lot, and you always get through.
Very good. So, continuing on with setup and stuff, is there a good place to put you guys? Like, do you prefer the corner, or do you prefer the back of the room? Like, is there a really good spot to put a DJ?
You always want to set up your DJ or band in front of the dance floor. Firstly, for sound, because we want to target our main speakers to the dance floor, so that that's the majority of your sound. So if there's tables to the sides, they're not getting directly hit with the speakers. And also for lighting, we do bring along dance floor lighting, moving lights, and some just stationary lights. If we're in a corner behind tables, we're unable to use any of those. So next to the dance floor
Is that something, like the floor plan, is that something that you guys like to kind of check in with your bride and groom beforehand and just kind of figure out where you're going to go and make sure that it's a good spot? Like, is that something that we as a bride and groom should ask you guys first?
I think that's something that you need to really consider when you're because if you've never done it before, you're not aware of what the sound issues or lighting issues are. If you can put the band or DJ in the center of the room with the dance floor and tables to the sides, we always bring auxiliary speakers that are going to be facing the sides, so that when there's toasts and blessings and all that kind of thing, you've got sound going side fills, so everyone can hear the mics clearly.
But once the dancing starts, those speakers that were kind of side fills to make sure that that anybody speaking is very clear, those kind of go away once the dancing starts. So all of the focus of our sound is going to be at the dance floor, because you don't need to kill people on the outside.
You don't need to kill Grandma and Grandpa over there who's just trying to enjoy themselves.
We're just being musicians our whole lives. We're very conscious of volume.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it needs to be loud, but it doesn't need to be harmful.
Right. And that's something that I've noticed about working with you guys too, is your level is on point. Like, I love it. It's very good.
Yes, especially for dinner. People want to be able to talk, especially coming out of COVID right now. There's family members that haven't seen each other for a couple of years, and they really want to visit. So we're very respectful, and we make sure the volume is just at a good level for dining and conversation. And then, of course, when the dancing starts, you want to pick it up and get the energy going in the room and make sure that dance floor is really happening.
Yeah. And there's just one other thing about the venues. We've done so many weddings that we've typically been in most places. There's very few places that we haven't played before. So when somebody brings up the issue about a floor plan, we've probably been there many times. So we can coach them through,
Okay.
you know, a typical setup. And if there is a place that we haven't played, we do our best to get there. We want to go there physically, take a look, meet with the vendors, meet with the owners, and see what we're looking at, because we do want to know what's going on when we get there.
Oh, definitely. That's the
Yeah.
last thing you want, is to show up and be surprised and not know how to
We
how to
just
fit yourself in a certain spot.
right. If we can't physically get there because it's a travel type of gig, then we will ask for a floor plan so
Okay.
that we know exactly where we're going when we get there, where to unload, where to set up.
Making sure there's power at all those different places.
Power.
Because we
Yes.
do actually have a really good battery powered system, because we have done live ceremonies on beaches, mountaintops, in
Yeah,
the woods,
yeah.
you know, so that we can accommodate, you know, somewhere where there is no power.
Okay.
But we need to know, so we need to
Right,
have
right.
that system
Right.
with us. Yeah.
See, and that's something that, like, I as a bride, like, I didn't even think of that. Like, making sure that there's power.
Right. So, and with ceremonies, you want to have microphones, especially if it's, you know, anything over 50 guests. And if you're outside, even with 50 guests, it's great to have a microphone for your officiant, for your readers. So that's something that Paul takes care of. He's actually got a degree in not only guitar performance, but in sound engineering. So the sound is going to be
Nice.
pristine at your wedding.
So that's something that normally the DJs would provide, is the microphones and stuff like that
Yes.
for the ceremonies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Even to the extent we've had many times people in the bride's family or the groom's family who are actually musicians. We can take care. You know, if somebody's going to play and sing,
Okay.
we can take care of any of those kind of scenarios, which are great. They really make a wedding. If you've got
Oh yeah, a family member
someone.
who.
I think last week we had a bride who was a guitar player and sang, and I set up a bunch of gear for her,
Aw.
and she did a song for her new husband. So those are things that really can make a wedding
Yes.
super cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, good. One more question though, before I decide if I want to book you guys and move on to contracts and stuff. What if I don't have a wedding coordinator? I know there's a lot of people who have them, and a lot more people, it seems, who haven't really jumped on that train yet and decided that they want to have a coordinator. So how does that work between you guys, the vendors, the photographer, stuff like that? Like,
What the coordinator does before the actual wedding day, we know that they can be helpful if people are out of town and booking hotels and all that kind of thing. And transportation, perhaps, things that we would never be involved with. But once the wedding day does happen, if there's not a coordinator, we certainly do have all the information to MC everything. We'll have a timeline. Like I said before, we have really excellent communications with our couples, just because we want you to show up and not worry about anything. You're not going to wonder what we're going to say. You're not going to wonder if what we're going to announce or what we're not going to announce. Everything's been gone over, and we always do a final review even the week of the wedding, because little things will change. Grandma's not going to make it, all that kind of thing. So we will absolutely coordinate the day for you and work with the staff, your catering staff. There's always a point person that they will have. If not the owner of the venue itself, but we will be coordinating with that person, also coordinating with the photographers, because we don't want to be announcing a parent dance and the photographer is maybe changing battery or
Right.
or something like that, or the father of the bride is at the bar or in the restroom, or took a stroll outside. We want to make sure everything is in place before we MC anything, any important thing, the cake, all that kind of thing.
It really
is
does become a
MC.
team effort.
There's
And
Absolutely.
because we've been doing this for quite a while, we do know so many of the vendors. There's just awesome vendors in this industry. So you become an instant team, really.
Absolutely.
You got each other's backs. If something's going on,
Right.
somebody
Right.
needs to know what's going on.
Yes.
You really kind of cover each other and make sure that
Right.
everything runs really well.
I know with my consultations with photography, that's one of my questions is, are you going to have a DJ? Who is it? And that way I tell them that it's such a big part of your day is communication between the photographer and the DJ and all the other vendors. So it's nice to have that list to know who all it is, and just to know who the vendors are before you show up and make sure that you're communicating with everybody. Perfect. Well, I love you guys. I want to book you. So tell me, how does this work? Do I sign a contract or a retainer? Like, what's next?
Yeah, so I run the office, so you would contact us. If not, at the end of the conversation, many times people say, okay, how can I book it? And I would just email a contract over. You would fill it out as much as you can, sign it, and email it back. Timelines are not a big issue when you book, because we only do one wedding. We only have time for one wedding in a day. And then as far as the deposit, we use Square for electronic deposit, so it's a secured site, and you can put a deposit down, and then that goes right in my file, so there's no double booking, and we're really very cautious. And we have multiple
Yes.
places where we have contracts and iCalendars and all that, so we have you locked into your date. And then from there, we would send information sheets. Information sheets will be for your ceremony and for your reception, all the important songs, everything you want to announce, things that you don't want. That's another
the do
good
not
thing.
playlist.
Oh, yeah.
It's my favorite
It's
list.
his
Right?
favorite.
We want
You
to
have a
know what
do
you
not
love,
playlist?
but just as important
Oh,
is what you
like
do
I
not
wouldn't
love.
want you to play.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So we could play 60 songs, and then that one song that's, oh my God.
I hate that one.
Yes.
Exactly.
We want to know every song that is not allowed.
Okay.
Because
Wow. That's
people will come up all night and ask for certain things, and
Okay.
I want to know what you absolutely do not want. We guard over that list very, very carefully.
So what if a guest wants a song that's on my do not playlist? You tell them sorry.
Yes.
Try again.
Yeah.
Well, and that goes. That's another thing is requests. We do take requests. However, we will play the ones that we feel are appropriate for your wedding, based on what you've told us and shared with us. Some just aren't appropriate for weddings. Unless they're from the bride and groom.
Right.
And then you can, request anything you'd like.
All right. And just one more question. So when do you guys like your last payment? Like, can I pay the day of? Do you like it a week before, a month before? Like, how do we work that? Or do you have a payment plan? Like, how does that work?
Well, we try to work with our couples. Some couples do want to do some payments throughout the time allotted between the time they book and the wedding. However, most people just do the deposit, and then the balance is due 1 month before the wedding. That gets cleared, and then we're good to go. That's one less thing you have to worry about on your wedding day.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Yeah, if I could just stress as a wedding vendor as well to all of you bride and grooms watching this, is don't wait until the wedding day to make those final payments with your vendors. Even if your vendor is okay with it, make sure that you get those final payments out to them prior to your wedding day. like Karen just said. It's one last thing that you guys have to worry about, and it's one last thing that your vendor has to worry about too, is, when are they going to pay me? So yeah, don't worry about that. Like, we want to be there to have fun and to celebrate your special day. So what happens if the wedding is going a little bit longer than we expected? Everyone's having a lot of fun. We don't have to leave yet. And I want you guys to stay for another half hour, 2 hours. Like, how does that work with a DJ?
Well, it is on the contract, extra hour fee. So some people right off the bat will book an extra hour because they know they're going to be partying hard and they're not going to want to stop. But then there's others that the 5 hours, the cocktail hour and the reception part is going to be plenty. We dance people pretty hard. They're pretty tired at the end. However, if you wanted to keep going for a half hour to an hour or whatever, there's an extra hour charge that's right up front on the contract. You'll know ahead of time, and that can be added the day of the wedding.
All right, nice. Very good. And specifically for you guys, for Saratoga Sound, what areas do you service?
Well, we're all over New York State, into New Jersey, Massachusetts, Vermont. We've been in New Hampshire. I mean, so
Kind of
we
all
travel
over?
quite a bit. Yeah, so that's kind of the wedding season in the Northeast. It's from April, really, almost to the end of the year.
Okay.
But this year we will be expanding. We're going to be in Florida in January.
Oh,
do some
nice.
weddings,
Okay.
bridal shows. So little by little, we will be south for the winter months working.
Okay.
And then back up in the Northeast. Very, very full book season in the Northeast. So
But
that's
you're
will
booking
always
for
be the
Florida,
bulk of
too.
our work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very good.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to go to Florida.
Yeah, we'll take you with us for sure.
Very good. All right. Well, I am so happy that I was
Yes.
able to come and talk to you guys and find out what a DJ is all about and what I need to know, and just really how that all rolls out. Where can I find you guys? I know we said it before, but what is your website?
The website is SaratogaSoundDJ.com.
Very good. Karen and Paul, thank you.
Yes, a pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
All righty.